Hey everybody, welcome back to One Seed, One World. So this is the final episode of the new chicken run build, and we finally got the coop moved. It took us I guess probably about an hour to get the coop actually moved down here. My nephew and my brother-in-law came over and helped us. Basically what we did is we pried it up onto some PVC pipes and then rolled it down a few feet at a time. We had to kind of, change the position of things a few times, make a couple corners and turns as we were coming down the hill. Then the one thing that we ran into is I had put in another section of wall, trying to get as much done before we actually moved the coop in here, so I would have less to do once I got it in. But one thing that I messed up on was that when I put that extra section of wall in, the measurement was off. When I measured how wide the coop was, I was like, oh, our coop's 6 feet wide by 10 feet long. But the problem is that when I figured that 6 feet wide, I didn't take into account the egg box that sticks out and the overhang of the roof. So it's more actually like with the overhang and the egg box, more like 7 feet wide. So once we got it down here, we couldn't fit it in between the one support post for the roof and the wall post that I had put in. So my nephew and brother-in-law figured out that we could actually brace up the post that was one of the support posts for the roof, brace it up, cut that one off, and then move the coop the rest of the way in and then reattach it and brace it in. Because now if you're building a house, of course you wouldn't want to do that. But since this is just supporting a couple of 2x4s and some wire, it was okay to cut that support piece or that support 4x4 and then reattach it. So we got that all done, got it all in. And then once that was done, it was just basically putting together the final corner. I had to put in one more post and 2 more wall sections, and then trim off the top post and put on the wire and that sort of thing. I still have a couple of sections of roof wire to put on, but other than that, it's all completely enclosed. The chickens now have been in here since Friday evening, and it's all been going swimmingly. They seem to enjoy it in here. There's a bunch of burdock growing up in here, and they like pecking at it. I'm sure they will have it all gone probably within a day or so, but they're liking it right now. So one other thing that I still need to do is put in this like little retaining wall that I'm doing that's going to have this wooden step on it, because this is just sitting up on a compacted dirt platform, and I know over time if I don't have something here, that dirt's going to start washing away. The chickens will be running on it, scratching on it, whatever. So I just have some old cinder blocks that were left here. They were here when we moved into the place years ago, and they've just been kind of stacked around. So I'm taking a few of those and I'll level it out and tuck it up against all the way across this platform, and then I'm going to put a little bit of concrete in the holes and then attach this big, I think this is a 2x8, and I'll attach that with lag bolts that will go through and into the concrete and the brick. So nothing over the top, just something that will help keep the dirt from washing away, and then give us a little step so that we can walk up into there easier. But it's just sitting here right now. It's one of the last things that I need to do. So a couple of people have asked me on some previous videos on why I would build this whole new run when we already had a great big run that I built just 2 summers ago. That took me at that time almost all summer to build, because I was hand digging the trench and everything. And it was a really nice run for the chickens. However, there's really 2 reasons why we are moving it. Most important reason is we want to expand the garden up in front of the greenhouse, where we could get plenty of sun up there and add probably another, I don't know, 4 to 6 more raised beds at least. and then that way we can grow more produce to sell and a wider variety of produce than what we can do in the smaller portion of the garden now that's in the back behind the greenhouse. Second reason is just mainly for aesthetics of the yard. When I originally built the chicken coop, that was the only structure that was kind of there in the middle of our yard. But then over the last 2 years, I built the garden deck, I built the greenhouse, and then you had the big chicken run. When you looked out of the back of the house, really all you could see was a chicken run because it blocked off all the view to the garden and the greenhouse. And we thought that it would look better if you could look out and see the greenhouse and the gardens instead of just a chicken run. So those are the 2 reasons why. So we are saying goodbye to the old run. We've already started taking it apart, taking it down. I'm going to be repurposing a lot of the material from that old run. There's a ton of 4x4s that I can use that are in there that I will be cutting down to use for the sides to my raised beds that I'm building. And then some of the other boards, if we're going to try to salvage some of those as well to make maybe some flower boxes and stuff that we can use around the yard. And then I've got a lot of leftover hardware cloth that I will use in various places as projects kind of come up and whatnot. Because after the beds are done, I also want to build kind of a compost shed on the side of the garden. And I call it a shed. It's going to be more like a lean-to kind of thing, but it will have sides and a roof with 2 separate sections where I can even repurpose more of this wood. So that will be a future video, but the run is done, man. So I have a couple more things I got to do. There's a couple more little roof wire pieces I have to put on, shore up a couple little areas on the walls, and then do this retaining wall. But all that will probably be done within a day or so. It's little minor stuff that won't take very long. So there's the chicken run build. That's it. Chickens love it. And this area back here is shaded throughout the morning. They get about 4 hours of direct sun back here. That's why we've got some of the other things back here like the lilac bush and their little table with the umbrella. So they've got some shaded areas. If it gets too hot, they can go in those shaded areas until the later in the afternoon where it starts getting shady from the other direction. So also one last thing, while I was finishing up last night with putting up the final corner, tacking up the walls and whatnot, right as I was putting like the last tack in, started getting a little bit of a rain shower. So I quick ran and put my camera away, got that in the house, and came back out to put away the tools and other stuff that was out in the yard. And right in the middle of that, complete like torrential downpour. So I was able to get all the tools into the shed, and then I just ran into the greenhouse and just stood in the greenhouse until the rain shower passed, and was able to not get too completely soaked. And at least I saved all the camera equipment, the tools, and other stuff that got left out in the yard. My wife had left her phone outside, her sneakers, her socks, our speaker that we use for playing music while we're out working in the yard. So I was able to get all that in before the torrential downpour started, so that was a good thing. So that's it for the chicken run build, parts 1, 2, and 3. So whatever's going on in your neck of the woods, I hope it's going great for you. Whether it's building chicken runs, tending chickens, growing gardens, whatever homesteading projects, recipes, all that good stuff. I hope that it is all going great for you. Please subscribe to our channel, and we will see you again soon. Hope you have a fantastic day. Namaste. Tick, tick. Tick, tick. Opal, what's happening? You guys aren't interested. What's up with that? Built you this big, nice new home. You can't give me any love. You just wander away. Tick, tick. Tick, tick. Alice, Alice. Nope, not coming. The burdoc's way more interesting than me. Hi, Peep.